So we're recording. All right, participants, we'll let everybody in. Admit all. Okay, what's up, gentlemen? Welcome. Good to see you all.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hey, Xavier. Hey, Coulter. What up, what up, what up? There's going to be other people coming in, but I think this is just going to be the warm-up. If you guys want to start the, well, let's just wait 2 seconds. Honestly, I think the armature for the dog is going to be easy. I think going from the armature for the dog into the dog, that's going to be the part that's not quite that easy, but we'll see. I mean, it shouldn't be that hard. I don't know. I just don't want to get going and have not everybody be in here because everybody comes late, but that's their fault. All right, let's not waste any more time. All right. Xavier, you should take your sunglasses off so you can see the computer screen better.
But they do look
Or
cool.
you can just leave them, or you can just leave them on. It's fine. Maybe I'll do this one with my sunglasses on too. No, I'm just kidding. I can barely see.
It's a fake thing.
That's something. I think that that is actual. Wait a minute, no, that's something through Zoom.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Filter.
I'm just playing around. Although mine are actual Ray-Bans. Hold on. How did you do that? I'll figure out how to do it. All right. Let's just start with the oval. I'm so scared of this drawing.
Charles, you may have been saying something, but you're muted. Maybe you wanted me to think you were saying something and be muted at the same time, but just wanted to make sure. We're good.
I forgot my drawing gloves today. Good to see you, everybody. I just want to make sure. Okay, let's do this. Let's ride this one out. It's just a warm up, so if you fail miserably, it's still okay. All right, here's my oval. Notice this oval or the egg shape. It's going to be a little bit wider on the back, and we're kind of anticipating the snout. And if you wanted to be even a little bit more savvy, you could, instead of making an oval, you could actually like make the snout blocky. I don't know. I don't want to like jump the gun too much, but
I want to be savvy.
The neck comes down. The neck is towards the bottom of that oval. So it's going to go head to neck, and then we're going to follow the length of the spine. And so however far you make this spine is going to be how long your dog is. Ooh. Ooh. So scared. So scared. And then I think this is almost the first. No, this isn't. I was going to say this is the first drawing I made today, but it kind of is. But did I draw anything earlier? It feels like I haven't drawn anything today. I went and took a hike. I took some photos, took some film stuff. Hey guys, it just came in. We're just going to warm up with this dog. Pray that it goes well. I started with the oval for the head, and I tried to put the face on. It was probably too much. I'm going to go from head to neck, and then this is the neck is the cervical vertebrae, and then we go down the thoracic vertebrae, and then I'm going to put a little triangle back here because that's where I know the pelvis is. So I'm going to try and be a little bit more anatomically correct. Because I know at the base of that, the tailbone in the pelvis, that's where the tail's going to come out. So I'll put the tail in as well. All right, so I went from head to toe. I haven't added any of the legs yet. And that's kind of like any of the arms or the legs. The hardest part about dogs, if you look at dogs, everybody thinks their legs start like here, and they really don't. They're arms, and they start really high up. So like, this is where kind of like the actual collar would be. And then that is where the shoulder, the legs begin. And it's really the arm. So it goes shoulder to elbow. I'm going to put a dot at the elbow. Then we're going to go from elbow to wrist. And then wrist to knuckles. There's his paw.
Mr. Twist, could you move your camera a little up?
Yes.
Because it's hard to see the dog snout.
Yeah, I think it might be on your computer, but did that help anyway?
Yeah.
All right, sweet. The far side leg, I think the reason the line is so small is because it's supposed to be, it's going to be like hidden behind the chest, but still there's an indication of it. So it's shoulder to elbow, little dot, elbow to wrist, and then we'll do a little tick for the hand. We're just like plotting out the most basic stuff. I know the rib cage is an oval, and I'm just going to put that in there. I don't know if that's a good judgment or not, but I mean, that's a major mass, and I see things that way. Same thing with the legs. Like the hip bones are super small. Like when I say super small, I mean they're short. Like the hips to the knee is really short. So and that's the femur, I guess. So this pelvis I got back here, this is the hip. It's going to go hip to knee, and the knee is up high. So hip to knee, the knee is like parallel with the belly. So the legs don't start at the knee. The legs start at the hips, just like in humans, except the hips are way high. The body is seen from the side, and it's narrow. You know, it's tall and narrow. So that's why they're just different, but they appear to be different. They're actually the same. All right, so hip to knee, put a little big dot for that knee, and it goes knee to ankle, and then ankle to the ball of the foot. This is the Achilles heel, and then we'll put a little tick for that foot. All right, groovy. I'm not even gonna put in the other leg because I think the other leg honestly is a little distracting. I'll draw the second leg when on this one. All right, so this is what I was saying. Like anybody can draw a stick figure dog. It's like, how are you going to get from the stick figure dog into like the actual dog? And actually, Stacy and I were talking before this thing started, and she was like, this isn't exactly a warm up. I was like, what do you mean? And it's like, I do have a feeling that like going from the stick figure into the real dog, it is like kind of no joke. So the reason we're going to start with the face is because we want the thing to look like a dog, like right off the bat. And in order to get an animal to look like an animal, you got to get its features in the right place. So I'm going to put a ear at the top of our oval. And then I'm going to run down basically the profile of the face. So it's going to be like from the ear, it's going to go down the top of the head, and it's going to dip in at the eyes. So it's going to run the length of the head, and it dips in at like what is basically a forehead. And then it's going to come down the length of the snout. And then you get basically a 90-degree angle at the nose. And I think we should fill in the end of that little dot as well. This artist, it's interesting because it's like he goes from the nose and he goes into that big upper lip. And that big upper lip transitions into the mouth, like right off the bat. And then instead of drawing the mouth, he puts in a tongue. And then he puts in this lower jaw. And it's like so dog-like that I'm just obsessed with it. I wish you guys can. Is it reflecting funny? Yeah, let me put a pencil underneath here. Is that too much pencil? A little too much. My graphite is reflecting the ceiling lights.
Not on the screen. The image looks
Okay.
good. It's a little bit light. If you can darken it, would be great.
Hey, Jax, I see you guys. Good to see you. So for the eyes, let's place it in the right spot. And then for some reason, he just makes it look like an L. I mean, it looks like an L, and at the corner of the L, there's just like a little dot. Now, I've never drawn a dog's eye like that, but it's like very abbreviated. So this is just it's just a warm up. This is just the sketch. Okay, so the key to doing the rest of the figure is the same thing that you need in order to sketch trees. And I'll just draw a little tree down here. It has to do with enclosures. So 2 sides of the root, then the thickness of this part of the tree, then it
I
bends.
can already tell we're going to be drawing a tree.
And this bends. And this.
Who just said
and this
that?
bends.
Me,
John.
John
Yeah.
Nera.
Maybe we might. Now that you said that, we're not gonna draw trees. No, I'm just kidding.
Love that idea of trees.
I know. And by the way, if anybody has color, that would be good. if anybody has color pencils. Well, you don't absolutely need them, but it'll be more fun for today. Yes. Okay, that looks good. All right, so make sure the legs, the front legs and the arms are like thick enough. But I'm just gonna try and crank this out. I'm not gonna go too fast, but I'm gonna see like the back of the neck and then the front of the neck. There seems to be a little transition, like you know how dogs have like lots of loose skin underneath the in between their jaw and their neck. There is a little line to indicate that suggests that. So the front of the neck, back of the neck, and then from the shoulder to elbow, there's a lot of muscle there. So I'm gonna put in a trapezoidal shape from, oh, I forgot an important part. So I did the front of the neck and the back of the neck. Now we need the front of the chest. That's actually the pectorals. And he does give us a nice straight line for the front of the chest. And then it angles in from shoulder to elbow. And he actually puts in a little L for an elbow, which I love. It's like, thank you, sir. And then we're gonna get the elbow to the wrist, front, back. Then we're gonna actually get the wrist, front, back, and then the toes, or his toes are just like his fingers. So then we'll put a little rectangle for those fingers. Good boy. Oh yeah.
He's a good boy.
Good boy, Tuck Tuck. All right. So this isn't the hard part. It's abbreviated. So we got what's on the right side leg is on the left side leg. So we'll do shoulder to elbow, and elbow to wrist, and then wrist to knuckles, and then we'll do toes. And you see there's a little bit of room in between those two legs.
Mhm.
That's cool. For some reason, my legs look like they're kind of in the wrong spot. Like they're too far forward. I mean, who knows? That's just like my dog. I mean, the dog in the drawing, his neck feels like it's jutting out a little bit more. So I think I'm just going to be okay with it. Let's go down the spine. The other part, we've got the oval of the rib cage, and I think the oval of the rib cage comes down a little bit lower. Another really important anatomical feature that they don't include are the shoulder blades, and shoulder blades on dogs sit right there. And why it's so important is because when you see the dogs from the side, it goes from the neck, from the head to the base of the neck, and then you get this little bulge at the top, and those are the shoulder blades. Then from there, it'll go into the length of the spine, and then into the round part of the pelvis, and then into the tail. And the tail starts wide and it gets narrow as it goes up. And you can make that tail go way far, depending on what type of dog it is.
Mr. Twist,
Yeah, Miles.
my dog looks like he has like two like jacked legs. Looks like he's been working
My
out.
dog looks like he was adopted from being run over by a car. It looks like he
Oh no.
was adopted after his tail was run over by a car.
Aw.
Look at how hairy I made my tail.
It looks like it does look like it got flattened. That's hilarious. All right. Well, my dog, yeah, I don't know. The fun thing about dogs is that they come in such wacky proportions that this armature, can be used. Like, I mean, imagine if you made a head that was this big and then shoulder to elbow, elbow to wrist, wrist to knuckles. Like, what kind of dog would this be? Big rib cage, teeny pelvis, hip to knee, knee to ankle, ankle to foot. I mean,
My dog
I'm thinking that
looks
would be like a bulldog.
it's been taking a shower for a long time.
Little stumpy tail, wrinkles everywhere. I mean, dogs are so funny in all their different proportions. Let's get Ben in the house. So yeah, gentlemen, if you finished already, because I'm going slow, just make another one. But let's get this back leg in. I only built the leg, the one leg, because the second leg is like almost completely overlapped. So the front of the like hip to knee, it's there, but it is kind of buried flat. And there's this like really awesome flap of skin in between the rib cage and like that thigh. And you know, in dogs, there's like extra skin because I don't know if you've ever seen how they like the dogs can run and like if their legs go like this, they can like their legs can go completely straight and their back legs can go completely like they can be completely flat. Like their arms go up in terms of how they run. So they need a lot of elasticity, you know, in that part of the leg. So you don't see the anatomy that much because there's all this loose skin and all this fur. So let's come out. So that would be the front. It's a little ambiguous, but the back goes from his rear end down into the knee block, and then knee to ankle, and then ankle to the ball of the foot, and then he's got toes. Good boy. I'm going to just echo the exact same thing that I saw on the other side.
Echo.
You can shade that a little bit to push it back. You can even shade that to push it back a little bit. So it looks like my rib cage needs to be much bigger. Legs need to be a little longer too. It's all good.
I did a puppy.
It does not surprise me, Stace.
Yep.
So everything that's on the underplane, I can add a little bit of shade. The back legs I can shade. I can put a little shadow on the ground in between. That looks real. Real enough. Not bad for a warm-up. 15 minutes, what warm-ups are supposed to be.
I like your pug.
Thank you. I did too. That guy came out of nowhere. His like little curly tail. I don't want to ruin it.
Looks a little like a balloon. His like stomach. Did you do like the stick drawing for that one? I was busy drawing another one. So did you draw like a stick one for that one? Because it looks like his proportions. You can sort of see the lines.
I mean, I did this is what I did. I did a big head, I did a short body, and I did short legs.
And then a short tail.
And then yeah, little teeny pelvis, little teeny tail. I mean that got me. And then if you then you give them the nose, the eyes, the ears, the wrinkles. I mean that's what they look like. It's too funny. How about we I'll leave this up here for a second. Does anybody want can I see what we did? I've never done this warm up before, so let me stop the share.
Oh, hold on. That Luke, a little closer to yourself, Xavier. And nope, a little closer to you, away from the screen. Away, freeze it. Nice, thank you. You've got a lot happening with that dog, around that dog.
Yeah, and I mean, I didn't think about the hair. He's got a nice smile, nice ears. Cool.
Nice smiles.
Can I see yours? I pinned you.
I didn't actually draw the dog. I'm making this guy.
Nice. Whoa. Cool.
He's not completed yet.
Yeah, no, obviously, but that's awesome. Charlie, did you sketch it? I mean, you got it, and then everybody. This is art class. This is your art class. So if you don't feel like drawing anything at any point, like, it's all good. Charlie, did you sketch the dog? Or anything?
No, I just sketched other things.
All right. And you want to show yours? Your doggy so far. Jack, are you doing a digital one or are you doing your own thing?
So I'm just looking around on digital, but yeah.
All right.
Mr. Twist,
Yeah, Stace, did you get to sketch it?
may I show my puppy?
Yeah, by all means.
Because it really, I think, looks a little bit like when Tucker was a puppy,
I mean, that is 100% Tucker.
right?
I'm
A little
getting a
bit.
puppy soon.
Aww.
John, you want to show yours? I think I already saw it, but I'd love to see it again. Let me replace that pin. Stacy, that's so cute. I can't believe I made that. Got it.
Great. Thank you, John. It looks like a greyhound.
Miles, did you do it or no? I say. I don't want to spend $1 million. Oh, it looks exactly like a tiger, Miles. That's not a dog.
Oh,
Cool.
good boy.
Yeah, that's
The
nice.
dog. The dog.
You can turn that. You can turn that into like a whole world. That's great. All right, excellent. All right, boys, let's do the next one. All right,
Thank you,
That
Ben.
wasn't so
The next
good,
thing
so
that I
start
had
drawing
planned-
crab.
next thing I had. Oh wait, let's see it, Ben. Sorry, buddy. Let me get this.
My
replace
dog
it.
wasn't good, so I replaced with the crab.
I like that crab. That
Yeah.
claw is gonna get you.
Oh man, you should have been here last year. I think one of the first lessons I ever taught at Gilman was like the Maryland blue crab. Well, we might have to revisit that one. That's a good, great start though. All right, cool. So the first thing that I had was, before we get into the trees, is I wanted to well, yes, I wanted to make sure this thing's going on. I wanted to do the letter S. I wanted to do like this fancy letter S, and it's whole part of this series of sketches by Gustave Doré. And then I promise we will come back to the colored trees. So if you guys don't have colored pencils, maybe this would be the time to go grab them, or any pens if you want. But this one is kind of an interim sketch. Stace, this was on the list. Let me see.
Oh, well, surely it was.
But it fit on
May
my
you move the book up a little bit?
yeah, it fit on my book way better when I was prepping for this. Okay, here we go. That's better.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let me see if I can figure out the whole thing. So it's the start of the word surely. And in books, like in fancy books, you would have the beginning of a chapter. Oftentimes you'll have like a letter that is like above and beyond. And this picture, this S, it shows these these kids and these people of London in like the 1880s, throwing breadcrumbs to all the geese in the water. It's kind of a delightful scene. If you've ever gone down and like fed the birds, it's kind of nice. We're not actually going to draw that, but just like this commanding S that sits in this background that begins the chapter.
I already finished the S.
I thought I would go, and I thought we would give it a go. What was the comment?
I already finished the S.
The S.
You said you already finished it?
Yes.
Well, let's see if you already crushed it. Let me see. Well, I gotta make this wider. Nice, Xavier. Good.
Xavier.
Um,
Did I miss it?
we're going for it. It looks good. You figured it out, but we're trying to get a little bit of symmetry. So do me a favor, and as we get this, as you attempt this, try to see it inside of a square, and I'll show you what I mean. So if you notice, like the bottom side of the base of the S kind of lines up with the top of the S. So we're gonna get, let me straighten that out. Sorry about my camera angle. Oh, that's very handsome, Miles.
Here's mine.
Nice. All right, so if you guys figure that out, notice that there's a three-dimensional property to it. So I'm gonna sketch mine first, seen in a notional space. So the rectangle that the S sits in is at a certain height width ratio. And you can make these S's really long and thin. You can make them short and squat. The height width ratio, the rectangle, is going to determine it. So then give me the base of this S here in this corner. And then give me the top of this S in that corner. So now what you're doing is you're relating the top of the S to the bottom of the S. And then we're going to use the outside of the box in terms of the curve of the S connects on the outside of the box here and also again at the outside of the box there. So we're relating the different parts of the S to one another instead of trying to draw it like this, as in one fluid motion. We also know that the base of the S here hits the outside of the box, and it also hits the outside of the box up here. All right, so I'm relating all of these to a cube. And the reason that's the reason that's so cool is that I'll just make another one right here. You can make S's in different forms it's almost like you grab them like on almost like a Photoshop. You can like click the corner and like adjust it wide and small. All right, so this base has a little tip back here. This has a little foot. I'm gonna link up where it touches the bottom, where it touches the front. See the slope gets really thin. All right, so the main part of the S in the center, this is the thickest part of the whole thing. So let's do the top of the base, excuse me, the bottom of the base, and then the top of the base. So this has a corner, this has a corner, this is like a little forehead foot. I'm gonna link up the silhouette. Where this was a steep slope here, this is a tall climb on this end. So we basically have now the same thing for the top that we have at the bottom, and they're in the same location. So now we need to link those two moments up. So we've got the thickest part that's going to be exactly in the middle. So we'll S curve this bad boy through the middle, in the corner here. S curve this through the thickest part, and then it starts to get thinner, curves up. And this is where some of you guys have already been. Now we can clean up a lot of this mess. The light is coming from the top right, and there's a thickness to the letter itself. So we can further emphasize the line that's in the bottom. And with not very much effort at all, we can suggest that this S has a dimension. So even if you sketch it really quickly, the light and the shade is what you may have been missing. Not so bad. That's not bad. Nice. Excellent. Let me did everybody get it? Now I don't know if I feel like doing this, but I'll give it a shot. Yeah, these are good. I can't tell if it's wonky, Jack, or if the paper's crooked. Yeah, no, it looks good. The key is to get the top and the bottom like matching up as best as humanly possible. So I'm just going to quickly do another one. Here's the top of the S on the bottom and the left. Hits the bottom here, hits the curve there, hits the curve here, hits the top right here. Boom, 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 boom. And goes up. I mean, these are like, this lettering is, it feels like so Western to me, like a Western movie. Even like Western United States. Walked into the wrong saloon, partner. All right.
Where are you right now?
I was just having fun trying to do an S that's super stretchy. And I think I failed miserably.
No, where are you?
In like on the planet?
Yeah.
I'm at the Mitchell School. This is the school that I own. So
Okay. It looks like your house.
Yeah, no, this is actually a chalkboard. It's like
It looks like an art teacher's house with the
Yeah.
chalkboards, the paper, and the camera for virtual learning.
here. We got a wall of paintings.
I remember doing that seahorse.
I've got all those plaster casts. That's Thomas
Wow.
Jefferson, Nefertiti,
Who did those?
a horse. I've got Michelangelo's David. We've got Giuliano de Medici. Different artists throughout history, like Michelangelo, Houdon, French painter, so unknown. All right. So does everybody have their pencils? Can I see some? Anybody else want to show the S? Anybody get a particularly good S that I haven't seen yet? Boom, 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 boom. Okay, nice. You finished. Nice, Ben.
The crab. Let's see
Crab.
that.
Crushing a crab. Crushing the crab.
The dancing crab.
Instead, I put C for dancing crab.
Is it
There we have it.
busting the human body crab? That's a story for another day. All right, let me pull this back out. All right. Let's do one tree that's just in graphite. And then we'll do the whole story. Okay, cool. Right, so
I
this
made
is
my S. I made the S really quickly
actually
because I just got here. There you go.
Hold on, let me
This
see.
is-
Sorry, Jack. You're on this other thing. I don't see it. Oh, there it is.
Oh, I see you, Jack, but I don't see
I see the S.
the S.
Is it mirrored or no?
It is not mirrored.
Okay.
It is, unless you did it backwards.
No,
Now
because
I see it.
it's mirrored. It's mirrored in my view.
Yeah, I know. It is kind of weird. Awesome. All right, gentlemen. This is going to be color, but I wanted to do like the teeniest little thumbnail first, just one of these trees. So when the way we're going to break this down is I just need you guys to first draw the rectangle, which is not always how you want to do it, but this is, since you want to make this small, and I actually do want you to make it small, so that we can fill it in really fast. We're going to switch over to do some colors. So there's a horizon line where the ground meets the trees. So let's put that, it's a little bit below center. We put a line there. I think personally we should draw the road. It's just a zigzag that gets wider as it comes closer. So we've got the ground plane. We've got a row of trees. That looks good. Now we can do like the principal element, which is the darkest part of the entire picture, which is the tree trunk, which is at an angle. And then we have the puffball that is the foliage or the summer, the summer leaves. Another secret kind of shape would be the shadow that's on the ground. But I think we'll come back into that. Let's start where it's easiest, and I think it's where the trunk is. So I'm gonna fill in the trunk, and then I'm gonna have that trunk kind of gently blend into the underside of those leaves. So the bottom part of the tree is the darkest. And if I use the lines for the outside, so I can just blend those lines into the dark tree. As the tree trunk, of course, is going to be the darkest, and then so are the leaves at the bottom. You want to be like kind of intentional about making the leaves as you get higher lighter. You can go right up against the edge of the rectangle. If your initial lines were too dark, like if it looks like you have a line running through the middle of your tree, you can erase the first line and then blend. Notice there's a couple holes in the tree, where the leaves don't, you can look through the tree and see the sky. The reason I wanted to do this in black and white first is because we're going to do the same thing, but it's going to be color. So the fun part is that you get to like shade really fast. Like the drawing is not hard. The elements of the picture aren't hard. And even though it's so wild because I got off track when I was erasing that line, and look how light or how dark I went with the top of the trees. It's so amazing when you lose concentration just for a second, how you can, just completely get off track. You have to get back in the rhythm. That's why warm-ups are kind of important. You're gonna make bad starts. It's gonna be horrible, and then you just know that that's part of the game, and then you just keep going. Like you miss shots on goal, like you don't make putts, like you shoot air balls. Like art's the same thing. You just got to roll with it. All right, I'm happy with my tree. This is good. Maybe I'll start with the grass. I don't know. I got the next darkest part of the picture. Oh, I forgot about this tree. Look at that. There's another tree on the other side. It's awkwardly cropped, so it's probably best to leave it out, but I'm going to put it in just for our sake because this is actually, we are going to draw this tree in the other picture. I'm just looking for dark areas. The shadow on the grass is definitely lighter than the tree trunk itself. And I think that the path is the lightest of all, but I'm going to put that shadow over the path, like on showing, on the path.
So I don't know if it's a path or a river.
Ooh, that's cool. Yeah, so let's just switch. Let's just make it a river. You can kind of draw like a flow, you can actually draw like the rhythm and the stream, the flow of the water in there. Maybe you get a little bit of an edge of the bank. I love streams. That's where I spent most of my childhood in streams. And I went back. There's an old place that has lots of fossils. I went back and grabbed a couple this summer. There's this enormous gorge in Western New York that you can hike for like 20 miles that we used to do in high school. It was great. Just like there are thousands of years of this stream that fed into the Great Lakes. Okay, so the grass is what it is. The grass is like a little bit dark, but the trees that are separating the ground from the sky, those are darker, but don't make them as dark as the tree in the foreground. So darker than the grass, lighter than the sky, lighter than the tree. If you need to darken the tree, you can do that.
Can you please say that again?
There's the row of trees that are off in the distance that are separating the grass from the sky.
Yeah.
We want to make that darker than the grass, but we also want to make that lighter than the tree. So you have two options. You can either darken the tree where it's up against the forest, or you can like not go too dark with the forest. It's kind of those are kind of the options. Yeah, it's so pretty. I mean, it's so amazing that just that simple, just this like simple breakdown is as gorgeous as it is. We put some trees in here. I mean, not the trees, but birds. I was on my hike today and I was like, I don't know if it was just because I looked hungry or I looked small or something, but all these vultures started circling overhead. I was like, oh my gosh, I hope they don't know something. Do they know something I don't? They're beautiful. They're actually a beautiful bird. Huge. These vultures were huge. All right. How did everybody do? Did everybody get this nice toning thing? Xavier, you got your colors? Does everybody have their colors? Because the whole thing, the color pencils are going to work. I mean, you don't need them, but it will, I think, be a little bit more fun. Anybody want to show? Anybody want to show it? Just so I can know as a teacher that I didn't go too fast. Okay, cool. Yes.
Is that Xavier? Oh, hold that up a little closer to you, Xavier.
Great.
Further away from the screen. Freeze it.
All right. So yeah, even if you
Thank-
haven't finished the tone, yeah, I'm trying to think.
Odin. A little bit. There you
We can
go.
move into the.
Great. Odin, can you move that back just a little bit toward you? Yes, right there. Thank you.
Is that Miles? Oh no, it is Odin.
I like those birds.
Whoa, sweet Jack. Jack, get that in a rectangle. The rectangle like matters so much when we get into the next page.
Is it all right if we add color to the original image we made?
Yeah, you can add color to the original or not. I mean, the next one, yeah. So now, Jack, all you need to do is like fill out to the edge now, and you may have to do some little indenting or whatever. All right, let's try this next one, and then we're gonna basically take this very similar approach to the breaking down. We're gonna start with a rectangle. We're gonna put in the players. If you have color pencils, just use color pencil. If you have graphite, use graphite. So, but don't mix graphite and color pencils together, please, 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 please. All right, so this is the close-up, and this has got like many opportunities for color. So it's like it becomes autumn because he's making this one tree, oranges and blue. There's like, neutrals. There's like green still in there. I mean, you can still see the green kind of fading out, but there's like oranges and yellows. He put some darker marks in here. You were right, Jack. It was a stream. Look at that. Even when I looked at this before, I saw it as like a path, like a country road. So the rectangle is going to be a little bit larger. You can see that like the part that we sketched is like this part right here. I guess it was like that. So we have everything that we did already, and then some, and then more. And at the end of it, guys, it should be kind of gorgeous. It's got really pretty elements. So again, we're going to start with the rectangle, and then we're going to draw the line where the ground meets the forest. Then do the row of trees. So we'll have the platform. So we'll have like the land realm, and then we'll have the heavenly realm, the sky, earth and sky, and then we'll put the trees where they need to go. So there'll be this crooked tree trunk that has more details. We're going to build this out. This looks more like an upside down strawberry to me. So there's like kind of more of a form, but it does get cropped off the rectangle here. The top of it goes off screen. It's further. This tree is further away than this tree.
It looks like a apple to me, kind of.
I can see the apple too. Do you see like a monster in there?
Yeah.
I see two eyes and like a crooked mouth.
That's what I originally thought. I'm like, that looks kind of like a
I hope I don't ruin the picture for everybody. All right, let me move this up so I can get myself a little bit more real estate. Go here. Yes. I think this is about as far off as I can zoom. I'll be able to zoom in later once you guys see me get the drawing in there, and you guys can have.
Isn't this the same drawing you did earlier?
It is, except it's the color version and it's not cropped. So this is the version that is complete. This is like the artist's complete vision. All right, stage one. Choose a color. I'm gonna choose purple. And then I'm gonna build my rectangle. My rectangle is gonna be a little bit smaller because I don't think it can all fit on the page if I do it that way. Miles, can you see the whole drawing? I hope.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I can.
Okay, cool. So my maximum. You guys can make this small. You can make it large, whatever. My maximum is this bottom line because my iPad doesn't zoom out any further than that. So the rectangle is wider than it is tall. Hopefully you can see that. The width of this whole picture, the rectangle is wide compared to the height. So I'm like trying to get that down, even though my rectangle is a little bit smaller, I'm still maintaining the same proportion. Yes. Okay. So I chose purple because I see purple back here in those, in the distant fall hills. So I'm going to draw my horizon line really lightly. This is where the land meets the forest. And then I can draw the forest meeting the sky.
Where the land meets the forest, the bottom of the forest, yes?
So the straight line was where the forest meets the land, where the trees are growing out of.
Got it.
And the other line was like, you can actually maybe even make them rounder or whatever. Like, these are the tree tops
Mm-hmm.
way off in the distance. I'm going to assume that the stream starts way back here. And then I'm going to curve that forward. And it's got some really nice little eddies and whirlpools, little turns. And it's going to wind forward. Oh, it's interesting. I mean, I had not made the comparison about the, to the letter S. But I mean, it's there. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the stream is an S curve. I'm going to switch colors again. And I'm going to go into the, go into a brown.
light lines. Oh yeah, can you solve my Rubik's Cube?
So just to recap really quickly, all we have now is land, and the land is made up of grass and stream. And then we have distant trees, and that is kind of the barrier. That's like the ice wall in between the ground and the sky. So that's that separation. Now we need to like put our main characters into the show. And if you follow the base of the S, so the S comes around, we've got the tree trunk. And I can sketch that and make that look, instead of like just like an angled rectangle, it's kind of a short, squat tree trunk, but it curves into the ground. And and it's not a small tree. It's just the size of this cluster of leaves is just massive compared to the size of the trunk. Where here there's way less leaves, but the trunk is so much longer in proportion. So the bottom of this tree has a flat, relatively flat bottom. Just like the I don't know. This is what I keep seeing in my mind. I keep seeing like a strawberry. And I know Xavier sees the
Apple.
an apple. So that's like.
I see something like a
Strawberry.
maple leaf.
Yeah, I see that, the maple leaf, for sure.
And
Maybe
there's
it's a
that
maple
turned
tree. Who knows?
If that was a maple tree, that would be fantastic. Anyway, I'm going to build this mass of it coming up here. And I know it goes off the screen. And what we're doing here, guys, is like literally making a coloring book. So we're breaking down the different parts of the picture, and I'm using different colors so that I have an idea of what colors I'm going to use. All right, so we got that. We got grass, we got tree trunk, we got leaves. I'm going to come on this side. I'm going to put in my tree trunk, which is a thinner rectangle. And then I'm going to build out my green leaves. And that looks like it makes a triangle. And then it turns into these delightful clusters, whatever kind of tree that is. It's young compared to the other one. And it gets cut off screen. Yes. So just like a generic labeling of stuff. Maybe I'll do the purple. We've got the trees, the purple trees, which is 1. I'll just use a purple 1. Then we have the, let me switch green. We have grass, which is 2. Grass here, grass here. We've got stream, which is 3. We have, I guess we could call sky 4. I didn't even see that. We're gonna have to sketch out those clouds. That's amazing. Sky 4, tree trunk 5.
It looks like the artist actually was trying to cut back on work.
Oh,
Cut back.
Because if you
Huh.
notice, all the clouds are behind the trees. It looks like he was trying to cut back on the work.
maybe, but distant clouds usually are off in the distance. There were some really beautiful clouds today. Anyway, so let me, in terms of laying it down, so we got 1, which is the trees, 2, which is the grass on both sides, 3, which is the stream, 4, which is the sky, and there's sky and clouds in there, and then 5 is going to be the tree trunk. 6 is going to be the main fall tree, and then 7 is going to be the still yet to turn green tree. 7. So we've created a coloring book for ourselves, very similar to the last one, and I'm just nervous that I'm not going to have time to color this in 8 minutes.
Have only 8 minutes left.
Wow.
Wow.
There's so many things going on. All right, so I'm going to start coloring this the same way that I did the last one. And I'm going to start with the tree trunk, which is the darkest part. And I'm going to use brown. I may come in with some even darker brown, but for right now, I'm feeling good. There are some branches in there, amazing. There's some holes in that tree, which are the same kind of dark brown. I'm going to switch over, start to color with orange. We do know that with color pencil, you can mix you can mix 2 colors. Sometimes you can get away with mixing 3 colors, but it's really for the most part 2. So I'm going to make the orange go throughout the entire tree. I'm going to add green patches and yellow patches to make it feel like a fall tree. Maybe even some brown too. Here's a nice earthy yellow, earthy green. When it comes to fall trees, fall leaves, I never really understood this until I was in my 30s. But all the oranges, the reds, the yellows, all those beautiful fall colors, they're already in the leaf. You just don't see them. And it's not until the chlorophyll, the green, thick chlorophyll, starts to drain out and the tree kind of prepares for the winter that you actually see those colors. So the fact that there is green shows that the tree is partially turned. So it's so we know that it's kind of early fall. The leaves become almost paper thin after the leaves switch after they change. After the chlorophyll leaves, what's left over are those warm colors. But in terms of density of material, it's very thin. The mass is very small, so that when the light goes through, when the light hits the tree, it becomes almost like a thin piece of glass. The tree itself, because the leaves are so thin, it reads like glass, and the light is actually more beautiful on the leaves. That's why fall leaves look more gorgeous than summer leaves. I don't have a dark brown, and it's proving itself to be a little bit of a problem if I want to copy this image, but I guess I don't have to copy it exactly. All right. Miles, that is one full bodied tree.
Oh,
right, cool.
Let's see here. Miles.
So the key, Miles,
Yeah.
the key to yours is getting a balance of your tree is dark. So your tree trunk has to be even darker if that's possible. and then everything else in the picture has got to be lighter. So just be careful with how you go the rest of the way. Just don't make anything quite as dark as that tree. All right. Show me some grass. All right, I'm gonna start doing my first layer of a grass tone. I'm hopefully, oh, does this yellow work? Yes. All right, I remember the yellow. The yellow is gonna make that orange, I think, pop a little bit. Tie it together. All right, I'm gonna use this yellow, I think, in the grass as well. So I'm gonna do my first layer of grass, and that's gonna be most helpful in terms of differentiating what's on the ground. I mean, the blue is nicely obvious. And then the shadow underneath the tree is going to be plenty dark. You want to be able to jump over the river. So if the river wasn't there, the grass on the right side is going to match with the grass on the left. So as you do the grass on this side, jump the river and do it at the same time. It doesn't matter as much with this initial color, but as as we sketch a different color for the grass that's close up versus the grass that's in the distance, it will matter then. All right, the close grass, I think I'm gonna make it a little bit browner.
I finished the drawing.
Already.
And it's also with crayons as well.
Cool.
Beautiful. Hold that
Grab-
nice and still.
Grab some kind of dark tone. And actually, I was gonna say this doesn't have a border on it. I was gonna say maybe like get a dark line and like draw a border around it like these. But if you look at the one we just made, the one we're looking at doesn't have a dark border. So you can just let it ride.
Since I'm only using crayons right now because we're like just for this drawing, because the other colored pencils are like downstairs. I'd probably have to-
Bam.
Colors, I mean, people.
Lots of people give crayons like a bad reputation, but they're
They
actually
do. They definitely
it
get
just
a bad
depends-
rap.
It just depends on who
Ben, hold that a little bit further from the screen.
Yeah, they say that
you
crayons
go.
are for babies.
All right. Tell
There
me about
are
that, Ben.
there are higher quality pencils that you can get that are not.
I don't really
Well, like,
like
crayons are affordable.
crayons just because I find pencils to be a little more efficient.
Yeah.
So I used for
Little
the
more
river. I'm
precise.
using a combination of blue, like light blue, and then white. And I have a feeling I'm going to need to use white in these clouds. I haven't even drawn those yet, but I just want to see if it works, and it does. Thank God. Okay. So the clouds are white. The sky is blue. I'm not getting there yet, but I'm still working on the grass. The grass was I did a layer of green for like all of the grass. And then I mixed some brown into the grass that's close. And I think I'm gonna mix yellow into the grass that's off in the distance. Like it's almost like it's in some kind of like light colored field. It's just nice if you can have grass that's far away, read differently, somehow differently than the grass that's close up. And you can see how he did it. I mean, this grass here on either side of the bank is different than the grass that's behind it. You don't have to go crazy. Like you don't have to like make it completely different, but it should be kind of unique. And the grass that's on the right side of the river that's far away is the same as the grass that's on the left side of the river. Same with the grass that's on the right side of the river close up is the same on both sides. This is not even the right green, but whatever. I can live with that.
Xavier, is your work right behind you? Is there anything you wanted to show? Anyone else have anything so far?
Miles, hold on. Miles, do you keep getting bumped off or whatever?
Yeah, I am.
It's the internet. Okay. I feel like I've been pretty good letting people back in. I know that happens every once in a while, and then people sit out there for like 5 minutes.
Jack, are you playing Bed Wars? Right.
All right, so it's 5:01, but I'm so close to being done that I think I'm just gonna ride this thing out. I'm gonna do the tree that's close up, the baby tree. There's something about this tree being young that I like this lighter minty green. It almost feels like it's a sapling or whatever. And then finally I can do my purple mountains, which probably needs to be blended in with some of the brown, because I think, and then maybe even some of the orange, to be honest with you, because I'm going to make that part of those trees. And then lastly, I'm going to do the blue sky, which is happening around the white clouds. This is a watercolor, so the artist had to be really careful about not painting the blue where the clouds are going to be. All right, there's blue sky up in the corners, and then white of the clouds. Sorry guys, I know you're showing it, but I want to finish this. Then I can start pinning. Purple Mountains Majesty. All right. Whew, that was fun. I mean, hopefully you thought it was fun.
Can you move yours up just a tiny bit, Trevor?
What was your question?
Could you move yours up just a tiny bit?
Yeah.
Your drawing. Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Ben, can I see what you got? Even if you just worked on your crab. All right, I'm gonna pin you really quickly.
Dominoes.
Wait, I can't pin. That's great. Stace, did you get a picture of that? Those are awesome.
I did. Absolutely.
Thank
I'm
you.
only done the bottom half.
Miles, nice. Yeah,
Miles.
I'm gonna finish the top
so
half by next
you're
time.
using the rectangle. You're using the whole page as your rectangle. So wait.
And Ben, hold that up just a little bit, Ben. Oh, I did get it. Excuse me. Sorry about that, Ben.
Look at that landscape.
It's okay.
And
Who
is that wow, the Pac-Man. Nice.
Let me stop the
Blended
share.
a few of the colors together again.
Jack, hold on
I-
one sec. Keep that nice and still. Thank you.
I made the clouds appear more, and I
Jack, hold that nice and still. And closer to you. Further from the screen. Yep. And freeze it.
That's fast.
Thank you.
Nice tea.
You're great.
Ace, I'm pinning you real quick. Xavier, hold on one second. Gotta remove pin.
Gotcha, Xavier.
That's a gorgeous landscape. Look at that sun. Is that a sun? Or like an aura.
What is that diving down? What do I see, Xavier, on the left side? That's so cool. That's the tree, right? The thin one. I like that.
Yeah, and I made a mountain too.
Yeah, I like how you represented the tree on the left, the thinner tree.
And then, Jack, did you go full color, Mr. Checkley?
Yep, I went full color.
Can I see that really quickly? I didn't get to see it. I'm trying to pin it. Okay, cool. Yeah, so that's with crayons. That's hilarious.
Yep, that's all with crayons.
It looks good. It's amazing,
All
like
crayon. all
even when you have
crayons
like
and-
even when you have a good if you have a good composition, the materials almost like don't matter.
And I also erased with this, but I didn't erase often.
Yeah, so that's pencil and crayon.
Pencil and crayon.
Interesting.
Weird flex, but okay.
All right, y'all. I always try to bite off more than I can chew, but that was good. We've got some industrial drawings coming up next week.
Bye.
Have a great
Oh
day.
Okay,
Goodbye.
Bye.